issue with forecasting for the next, I don't know, what were we saying, like a week?
Days, yeah.
10, you know? The pattern is so sloppy, so it's going to be like this, where it's like, oh, you get some clouds and maybe the sun peeks out and then you get some showers to come on in. And by the way, we could see some thunderstorms, and we are seeing some here into Texas with that warm, moist air. Nothing that we're expecting to be too severe, but essentially we're getting that moisture pumped into the south, and then we have our jet stream that's a little bit farther to the north. And right along the coast, it's like there's a little energy here, a little energy there, so you're going to kind of go in and out of it. This is like the worst forecasting to have to do, you know, because it's like, oh, you get 40% chance of some showers. It comes in, it doesn't. It's like, forget about it. So essentially in the south, you're going to see some clouds, you're going to see some scattered showers, and this is going to be impossible to say who's going to get what exactly when, because it's just all completely scattered in nature. So here into Baton Rouge, some scattered showers, and that will be the day into tomorrow. Again, this is entire week. This is what it's going to look like. Jen.
It's not a decisive.
The heavy mist from yesterday.
So
the reason why we're seeing cooler air in Atlanta today and why Jim says Florida is going to love the forecast the next several days is because of high pressures. Two different high pressures at different levels of the atmosphere, but both causing such different conditions, and we'll show you the difference here. I'm going to start with the wedge. So our high pressure is we are getting that wind coming down the east side of the Appalachian. So our high pressure is way up to the north, clockwise flow, that cooler air from the north. And we are getting wedged in, as we call it, because you have your Appalachian Mountains. The cold air can't go past the Appalachian Mountains, so it gets funneled down into the south. So here's a better, area of looking at it. Again, here's your Appalachian Mountains. High pressure brings that cold air down into Atlanta. I mean, we were, in the 60s yesterday in Atlanta, to start off the day, or at least upper 50s. It was warm.
Chillier through the day, you noticed that?
Did.
Yeah.
It did get chillier because that wedge, there's our high pressure, clockwise flow, pushing that cold air down, and it's bringing it from the north. So that is why we are seeing that cooler air. Now, as we switch over to Jim, the high pressure in the south is doing something totally different, Jim, which is so interesting.
Yeah, so that's
Travel at 20 and 40 past each hour. Now, very scary moment. And I believe, Jen, the crew members took out the fire extinguishers and everything. They were trying to contain. That had to have been terrifying.
Terrifying.
The hour, and it's time to talk about our three top stories. And first off, waterlogged, and it's going to stay that way for those of us here kind of Midwest down into the south. We're going to break up all the details and explain exactly what this means coming up. And signs of spring, we're talking 50s, even 60s into the Northeast. DC, you're going to be into the 70s. And then there's still a little bit of winter left to be had here. An Arctic shot is going to give us some frozen stuff as we look back towards the Great Lakes. So it's still hanging on, but the overall pattern is showing more and more warmth, though I guess that cold is kind of fighting back towards the upper Midwest. That cold tries to come down, but then gets booted back.
Well, and what's interesting, though, is how quick the next system responds, because you just showed Thursday night on that last map. They bring that front all the way down through the mid-Atlantic and then throw moisture back over. It could be an ice storm.
We'll see.
Believe it or not. We'll see.
Well, welcome back into AMHQ. Hey, happy Mardi Gras and happy Fat Tuesday as well.
Tuesday, yeah, it can be traced back to the medieval Europe times, but the celebration in the Big Easy started back in 1837.
Yes, and not just parades rolling on the streets on the